Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Previously I posted about Pulse Nexus, the news intelligence app I built. During the development and as I've been using it, I was monitoring the RAG chatbot's performance and have been evolving how it works behind the scenes. In today's video, I will go through my RAG development journey, so whether you're just new to RAG or you've been building your own RAG for some time, there's something that you can take away. So what is RAG and why is it important for AI chatbot? RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. When you chat with an AI assistant like ChatGPT, it answers based on knowledge it learned during training, which has a cutoff date. It literally doesn't know what happened last week. For a news intelligence platform, this is a showstopper. RAG solves this by giving the AI a cheat sheet before it answers, instead of answering from memory. The system retrieves the most relevant recent news articles from a database, hands them to the AI as context in the same request. The AI synthesizes a grounded answer from those articles. Think of it like the difference between asking a friend a question from memory versus asking them after they've just read 10 relevant articles on the topic. The second friend gives a much better, more current answer. However, not all RAG systems are equal. A poorly built one will hand the AI the wrong articles. Let me show you the options I've considered and benchmarked so you can avoid mistakes I made. The first RAG approach I build is the typical text embedding vector matching method. I call it by naive vector search, the Blurry librarian. Similar to the starting point for most RAG systems, we convert every news article into a vector, a list of numbers that represents the article's meaning. When you ask a question, we convert that question into a vector too, and find the articles with the most similar vectors. Where this method may fail, vectors are mathematical averages. They're great at capturing general topics, AI chips, but they blur over specifics. If you ask about MI300X, a specific AMD chip, the vector might score NVIDIA B200 as nearly identical because both are AI accelerator chips. You get the wrong article. Here's a sample code snippet for how vector matching RAG looks like. You will run an AI embedding model to convert your input into value vector that represents the semantic meaning of your inquiry. Assuming you've previously stored your document in a Postgres database like Supabase and pre-vectorized them, you can then do RPC call to Supabase to find documents that are semantically similar to your input inquiry. So pretty simple and fast to run. As mentioned previously, vector matching is good for semantical meaning-based article retrieval, but if the input query is on a very specific short topic like NVIDIA chip, then vector embedding may not be sufficient. We added a second retrieval signal on top of vectors, keyword search BM25, the same algorithm that powers Google search. Our database Supabase/Postgres runs both searches simultaneously and blends the results using reciprocal rank fusion, RRF. I call it the librarian who can also read, as it's not only semantic aware but also keyword sensitive. Why is this better? RRF doesn't add the two scores together, which would be mathematically unfair since they use different scales. Instead, it blends them by rank position, a fairer, distortion-free combination. The payoff is MI300X is now a hard keyword match. Even if the vector was blurry, the keyword search finds the exact string in the article text and promotes it to the top. Specific tickers, model names, and technical jargon can now work more reliably in the chat. There's also a catch, the keyword trap, to be mindful when implementing this method. While method 2 increases recall, finding the specific term, it can sometimes decrease precision. If a user asks a long, complex question, the keyword engine might overindex on a common word and pull in a completely irrelevant article just because that word appears frequently. For example, a query about vibe coding might accidentally surface a technical paper about low-latency code autocomplete simply because the word code appears 50 times. It found the keyword but missed the intent. Here's an example of how the hybrid retrieval method can be implemented. Most of the trick is actually done from the database side rather than in the client Python code. In Postgres database, we query both vector matching and keyword matching with order rank. We then run RRF to merge the two result sets by rank position, and the final merged results are sent back to client code by RRF score. Option 1 and 2 are fast but shallow. They score each article in isolation without truly reading how it relates to your question. Option 2's tendency to surface irrelevant keyword traps makes this expert second pass essential. We need to have additional mechanisms to ensure only the most relevant articles should be prioritized for my attention. This is why using a two-stage reranking method comes into the design. I call this the expert editor. We added a cross-encoder as a final filter. How does a cross-encoder work? Unlike the bi-encoder that creates separate vectors for the query and the document in option 1, a cross-encoder reads the query and the article together in one pass with full attention to every word relationship. It's slower, which is why we only run it on the top 10 pre-filtered results in the demo, but dramatically more precise. With cross-encoder reranking, it can finally distinguish between NVIDIA is gaining market share from AMD versus AMD is gaining market share from NVIDIA. These two sentences produce nearly identical vectors, but a cross-encoder reads the direction of the relationship and ranks the correct article first. We use the Lang Search API to run this step without needing expensive local hardware. A sample code snippet is shown to demonstrate how it can be implemented. You run the RRF hybrid method we described from prior step first. Then you call a cross-encoder reranking model to find the articles that are most relevant to the user input. This reranked response is what is provided back to the user as the final response. These three methods work collectively to help me get more accurate and relevant news articles that I inquired about. The prior discussions are all about how to better retrieve a single pass of news inquiry. To build real RAL system, one also has to be mindful of context window management. As the user's interaction with the chatbot increases over time, the AI's reading desk gets too cluttered. This can create problems that AI engineers typically refer to as contextual signal decay or the lost-in-the-middle problem. To fix this problem, we introduced a focus manager that deploys 3 guardrails: token budgeting, historical context exponential decay, and context extractive compression. Let me now dive deeper into what each means. An AI has a fixed context window, the maximum amount of text it can consider at once. For example, Gemini AI can support up to 1 million tokens per request. As a conversation grows, old turns pile up. If you ask 15 follow-up questions, turns 110 are probably stale noise. But a naive system dumps all 15 turns into the prompt, leaving no room for the fresh news articles the AI actually needs. The result is the AI starts hallucinating, forgetting things, or contradicting itself, not because it's dumb, but because its desk is a mess. Phase 4 of my RAG journey introduces 3 guardrails. Guardrail 1: Token budgeting. We divide the context window into reserved zones, like allocating seats on a flight. For example, 20% history, the conversation so far, 70% news articles, the retrieved research, 10% system instructions, always reserved, non-negotiable. History can never steal the seats reserved for news articles. The AI always gets fresh data. Guardrail 2: Exponential decay. Instead of keeping all 15 turns or abruptly cutting off after turn 10, a sliding window, we fade old turns. Each turn gets a score based on 3 factors. 1. How old is it? Older equals lower score. 2. Has it been referenced recently? Reused turns get a boost. 3. Does it share vocabulary with the current question? Relevant turns survive longer. A critical technical fact from turn 2: NVIDIA reported 40% efficiency gains, survives if the current question is still about NVIDIA. Small talk from turn 8, that's interesting, fades quickly. Guardrail 3: Extractive compression. When a news article is 2,000 words but our remaining budget only fits 300 words, a naive system just cuts the article at word 300. This is terrible. You lose most of the article and the cut might happen in mid-sentence. Extractive compression is smarter. It follows the steps below. 1. Split the article into individual sentences. 2. Score each sentence for relevance to the current query. 3. Greedily select the highest scoring sentences until the budget is full. 4. Serve them back in original document order, not relevance order, to preserve logical flow. Instead of getting the first 300 words, you get the best 300 words, the specific facts about power efficiency and cooling requirements that the user actually asked about. These 3 guardrails collectively ensure the context being used by LLM model contains the most relevant information to the current user inquiry, so the model is less likely to hallucinate and produce nonsensible response, even though the chat session has been going on for a long time. Now let's take a quick peek at how these guardrails can be implemented. We first set up a token budget allocation for history, new articles and system command with hypothetical weights used in the demo. We then create an exponential decay score for the historical conversation turns based on their age, its recent reference status, and how similar the vocabulary is compared to the current user inquiry. We also implement the extractive compression where the article is split into individual sentences. Each is scored for relevance to the current user query. A greed select function chooses the highest scoring sentences until the budget is full. The output from history context, the compressed more recent articles, the system prompt, and user inquiry are then collectively sent back to the LLM model for response. With the RAG step-by-step implementation guide, now let's run some real-case benchmarks to see how they perform against each other. I built a test case to show the article retrieval difference between the phase 1 to 3 RAG mechanisms. The tool queries my news database based on my input query. First, I will try vibe coding using QN 3.627b versus OpenAI GPT 5.5. In this example, since I have stored quite a lot news about these two models, both semantic matching method 1 and keyword matching method 2 return the same top 10 outputs. The Cross-Encoder Reranking shows some difference. It moved introducing GPT 5.5 from rank 6 to rank 2, and it moved QN 3.627b versus Gemma 431b making Pac-Man game from 2 to 3. Likely given the article mentioned Gemma, which is not relevant to the models in our inquiry. However, the article content did contain material about vibe coding, so clearly we can see reranking is doing some trick here. However, one should also note that the ranking score is not that high, indicating overall none of the articles are closely related to the true question I asked. Second, I will try Best Local LLM, DeepSeek V4 or Mimo V25 Pro. In this example, there's a slight reordering of top 3 articles between the semantic method versus the keyword method. Best Local LLM, the first keyword phrase of my query appears to have dominated the keyword method's ranking. The reranking output kept Best Local LLM as the best ranked article, which does fit the theme of the query. It then made an order swap between the DeepSeek article and the Mimo article. However, it's important to notice that the rerank score quickly starts to deteriorate from 5, which means these articles are not much related to the query. Therefore, when synthesizing the output from these articles, one should also be mindful of the reranking score and exclude the low-score ones that are less relevant to the query. Lastly, I will try Andrej Karpathy and MicroGPT. Here you can see the keyword method picked up a new article, ranked 3. These benchmarks have shown building a robust RAG is actually not simple and requires extensive and careful testing, especially around edge cases, to produce a viable product. Next, I will test how context management works. While my real LLM model has big enough context window, in this demo I will artificially simulate a small context window size so you can see how different context handling works or breaks RAG. I've preset up the test to query 5 news articles related to vibe code and 10 about advancements in local AI models, and the test intentionally put the 4 vibe code articles at the older portion of the history. First, I will try a 2500 context window. Now you can see the naive RAG will fail given context loss, so the LLM will either have problem processing the query or hallucinate. With the guardrails, the right-hand size of the RAG response is still sensible. Here's all the pre-set-up chat history about vibe coding and local AI that we used in the demo. Each or different articles belong to these 2 articles and pieced together to simulate historical chat. Now let's look at how the naive RAG prompt looks like. You can see it's long and truncated at the end, which is causing the LLM to fail. The guardrail RAG prompt is much more cleaner, which contains the key information the LLM needs to know. Secondly, I will try to use a larger context window and see if I can simulate a model hallucination problem when the context contains a lot of less relevant information. This 8000 size should be good enough for the full history to be included. Now running it. Unfortunately, the real LLM model context window is too big for this small chat simulation to be effective. Both the naive and guardrailed responses are fine. However, when you build production-grade RAGs and have really large document or long chat history to reference, this type of guardrail should be still useful. Now you've seen how I built the RAG backbone for my Pulse Nexus app. Is this how you build your own RAG system? If you have any feedback or other more advanced approaches to share, feel free to leave comments below. I've also made available the code used in my benchmark demo so you can get better insights into how these options are implemented. You can find the code link in the video description section. Leave feedback in the comments section on how you would suggest further enhancement to this demo or any other idea you would like to see a demo for. See you in the next video.
See you next time. Bye.